Hello everyone. Today's topic is about semiconductors, about carrier concentration and about the energy levels of semiconductors. Carrier concentration means it can be electron concentration or hole concentration. So, first of all about semiconductors. Semiconductors means these are the materials that are classified based on resistivity or conductivity. Generally, the materials are classified into three based on resistivity. They are conductor, semiconductor, insulator. Conductors are having low resistivity and the examples are copper and silver. Generally, metals are regarded as good conductors. Second one is semiconductor. It is having an intermediate or medium resistivity. Examples listed are silicon, germanium, gallium arsenic. They are called as partially conducting materials. Now let us look at the third one, which is insulator. They are having high resistivity and the examples are rubber, plastic, etc. So these are the materials that are used to manufacture the components like diode and transistors. So let us look at the energy band diagram. Using the energy band diagram too, we can classify the materials. We can identify whether the materials are conductor, semiconductor or insulator. Let us look at the energy band diagram. We have two bands. One is called conduction band. Second one is called valence band. Okay. And the energy differences between the conduction band and valence band is called as forbidden energy gap, that is denoted by the letter Eg. In the case of germanium, the energy band gap is equal to 0.66 electron volt, and in the case of silicon, that is equal to 1.21 electron volt. Electron volt means it is the unit of energy. Okay. Now let us look at this diagram. Here we can see the energy band diagram for insulator, semiconductor and conductor. Here we can see that in the case of conductor, the energy gap is almost equal to 0 because the conduction band and valence band are overlapped with each other. But in the case of semiconductor, the band gap is greater than 0. It is called as it is less than 4 electron volt. Okay. And in the case of insulator, the band gap is high, which is very much greater than 4 electron volt. That is, the band gap of insulator is higher than semiconductor, and that of semiconductor is higher than that of conductor. So this is the band diagram of what these three materials. And in the diagram you can see here the valence band consists of electrons. These are the electrons that will be acquiring some energy and reaches to the conduction band by overlapping the band gap. Once an electron jumps to the conduction band from valence band, there will be respective number of holes will be created in the valence band. That you can completely understood in the semiconductor diagram. That is 3 electrons in the conduction band and 3 holes in the valence band. Okay. Next is about the semiconductor classification. In the semiconductor classification, we can see that doping. Doping is actually the process of adding impurities to the semiconductor. Okay. Mainly there are two types of doping. One are called acceptors. They are called trivalent atoms. Example boron. Second one is donor. They are called pentavalent atoms. Example is arsenic or antimony, we can say. The semiconductors which are classified based on the addition of impurity or doping, they are intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic is called pure, extrinsic is called as impure. Intrinsic means it is tetravalent atoms. Examples are silicon and germanium. Extrinsic means impure, and these are classified into two types, that is p-type and n-type. Okay. P-type is actually extrinsic is formed by adding impurities to intrinsic. So in the case of p-type, it is an extrinsic semiconductor where P stands for positive, and that is comprises of intrinsic with acceptors, and the n-type that comprises of intrinsic with donor. Next, look at the diode and transistor. Diode, it is normally called as PN diode or PN junction diode, and this is the symbol you can see having two terminals, anode and cathode. And here we can see there are this P and N. Normally two semiconductors are needed to manufacture the diode. Okay, and in the case of a transistor, you can see NPN and PNP. Okay, NPN and PNP you can see. Okay, and here this NPN and PNP, it is consisting of three semiconductor materials for the manufacture of transistor. Okay, that is listing out here. Three semiconductors to manufacture BJT, two semiconductors needed to manufacture diode. And the application of diodes, example you can say rectifiers and regulators, and that of transistors you can say amplifiers and oscillators. These are just the basics about the components and the materials, how the materials are used to manufacture these components. That's it. Let's look at the first syllabus topic, that is called elemental and compound semiconductor. On the basis of type or the number of atoms, we can classify the semiconductors into two. First one is called elemental, second one is called compound. Elemental means only one type of atoms are used to manufacture or made this elemental semiconductor. Example, silicon, germanium. These are the semiconductor which is consisting of only one atom. In silicon semiconductor, it is only silicon. In germanium semiconductor, it is only germanium is the one type of atom, and that is why it is regarded as elemental. Next one is compound. It is constructed or fabricated by more than one type of atom. More than one type means it can be two type, it can be three, it can be four. Normally compound semiconductors are classified into three. They are binary compound, ternary compound, quaternary compound. From the name itself, it is understood that binary compound means two types of atoms, ternary compound means three types of atoms, quaternary compound means four types of atoms. So the examples are given here: zinc sulfide, cadmium sulfide as the example for binary, because zinc and sulfide, two types of atoms. Gallium arsenide phosphide, ternary, where gallium, arsenide, arsenic and phosphorus. These are the three material atoms which you can see in the ternary, and similarly quaternary having four: aluminium, gallium, arsenide, phosphide. Okay. And next one is Fermi-Dirac distribution function. Before going to Fermi-Dirac distribution function, you have to understand what is carrier concentration. Carrier concentration means it is number of carriers per unit volume, that is per centimeter cube. Fermi-Dirac distribution function, that is represented by the letter F of E. It is defined as the probability, that is chance, of finding electrons in the energy level E. That is why F of E, that is probability or the chance of finding electron in the energy level E. Normally F of E expression is given by F of E equal to 1 by 1 plus e to the power E minus EF by KT, where E is the energy level chosen. EF is called Fermi level, that I will tell you later. K is Boltzmann constant's value is 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23 joule per Kelvin, and T is the absolute temperature in Kelvin. Okay, and next is about the Fermi level. Fermi level means it is the energy level where the probability of finding electron is equal to 50%. That is, if you are putting E equal to EF in the expression of F of E, that is F of EF, which is equal to 1 by 2. If you are having 10 electrons, the 5 electrons will be almost have the chance to occur in what? Fermi level EF. That is why 50%. Okay, and this is the energy band diagram of Fermi-Dirac distribution function, where we can see EC, EV, EF. Okay, here actually you can see here, that is EF means Fermi level, EC means conduction band bottom energy level, EV means valence band top energy level, and F of EC, that is probability of finding electron in the conduction band equal to 0. Probability of finding electron in the valence band, that is F of EV, which is equal to 1, that is maximum, and the probability of finding electron in the Fermi level is equal to 1 by 2. So this is about the section of today's class. Hope you all understood.